In this video, we're going to create a 3D printed ring with a 3-part inlay. It's going to be some dark blue opal, some white opal powder, and some small copper flakes to give like a really cool contrasting color. So what I decided to do was 3D print this ring blank with black Petg filament, which is a really higher strength filament that it's a little shinier, a little smoother, and the design I envisioned was a really thin ring with multiple inlays, and that way we can do them all individually, and then with the thinner ring blank we can completely encase it in resin. The print quality came out pretty good, but there's a lot of stringing from the filament, so what we're going to do is take a little time to clean a lot of that out and take any extra filament off the edges to get the ring ready for a process called remelting. Now I'm going to remelt the 3D print. Basically, it's just a process of putting the print into a cast of salt powder and then heating it to its melting temperature, turning it into one solid piece of plastic. So after baking for 45 minutes and cooling for about an hour, we have one solid piece of plastic. Now all we have to do is clean it off, and the exact reason that we use salt as our cast here is because whatever you cast it in is going to become completely embedded into that plastic. But since salt is water soluble, to clean it all we have to do is just drop it in a little bit of water. I had never really done a ring with just a lot of small inlays before, so I wasn't entirely sure, in what order to add the different pieces. So I kind of just added them all in there and mixed them all together with my scalpel. And what was kind of strange about this copper flake is that because it's got so much surface area, when you put it into the CA glue, it likes to really fold over on itself and become a lot smaller. And that actually worked out okay, especially with the mixing process, because I was able to really see, where that copper was and what it was going to look like in the end. So I really enjoyed doing this. The problem is that this inlay took over an hour to do when a normal inlay in a ring probably takes about 5 to 10 minutes. So it was a slow process, but I was really satisfied in the end. Next, I'm going to use the tungsten rougher to remove all the excess inlay. The only thing I did different here is just to make sure that I went all the way through the inlay to the individual channels of the 3D printed ring, because you really want to be able to see that they're all individual slanted channels. At this point, the roughing is nearly done. I just want to do a little more shaping with some sandpaper to make sure that we get the best possible finish when we put that final clear coat on there. Now we just need to finish the inside of the ring. It's got a really rough texture from the salt, and we would definitely see that through any clear coat we put on. So I'm just going to do a quick sanding to make sure that the inside is smooth and ready for that final resin. Now it's time to start clear coating the ring. We're going to do the inside, and all we have to do is add a few drops of UV resin and then hang it in a UV bath. And to do this, I've added a piece of wire to the outside so we can do it without disturbing the resin at all. So we'll put it in the UV bath for about 30 minutes, and then we'll be able to take it out and do the clear coat on the outside of the ring. The last steps here are to clear coat the outside of the ring and then put it in the UV bath one more time. So you can see I like to put a piece of plastic between the ring and the mandrel, and that's because it's really hot in the UV bath, and what can happen is the ring can take the texture from the wood. So what the plastic does is just prevents that from happening.